Greetings, my paisanos. This is Super RJ, and welcome back to another movie review. Today, we're going to review the latest DreamWorks newest movie, Captain Underpants, which is based off the book by Dave Pickley, I think. Now, I saw this movie the day after its release, which is Saturday. Now, at first, I thought Captain Underpants is going to be a goofy, stupid movie. Now, I never read any of the books before. I heard of it. I kind of heard of it, Captain Underpants, when saw the cartoon in daycare. I think that was a cartoon of Captain Underpants. I'm not incredibly sure. But my brother started to love Captain Underpants, but I still kind of find it ridiculous. But after I saw the Captain Underpants the movie, it kind of has an interesting taste in me. It's true story. I have an interesting taste of it. So, if you don't know about the book, let me tell you this story. The story of the film actually does have to do with the book. The book is about the movie. Translate how the book is. It's about these two kids, George and Harold. These two are pranksters and love making comic books. But until one day, after they did the most ultimate prank, which caused them in trouble, their principal named Crub decided to put them in separate classroom. Now I know that's not how it happens in the book, but you get the idea. So George and Harold thought they must find a way to stop this. They thought so George no wait, so George decided to use his hypno ring they got from a cereal box to hypnotize Krupp. After a full round of it, they decided to let him become the amazing Captain Underpants. Tra-la-la! But what did they know that they might call after Krupp actually does think he is Captain Underpants. Ooh. So after the whole rushing around, after they're trying to get him around, they finally caught him, and they find a way to get him back to Krupp. Yada 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 yada. So the rest of the film is that George and Harold decide to let Krupp become Captain Underpants throughout the rest of their lives. So to make sure that Principal Krupp doesn't let them be in separate classes, and wherever he's gone back to normal while someone shove water at his face, throw water at him. But little did they know that there's a new teacher comes in, and that is known as Professor Poopy Pants. You can call him Professor P for short. And of course, he has a nasty evil plan. And I'm gonna tell you. The reason why because the villain, and you guys know that Professor Poopy Pants is the villain in the Captain Underpants books. Well, most of them. And his plan in this movie is pretty simple. After he gets tired of everybody laughing at his name, known as Professor S. Diarrhea Poopy Pants, he vows to decide to find a way to get rid of humor, and that's basically what it is. And that's the rest of the plot of this whole film. And sorry, I kind of find out why the villain's plot is. Now I want you guys to know that now let's get to the good stuff out of the way first. First off, there are some clever jokes in this. I remember when I was in the theater with my brother, you notice a ton of kids keep laughing really hard with all the jokes in this film. They really do laugh hard about this whole idea of this film ever since the books. And of course, I hear some of the adults laugh some of the jokes. Now, here's a fact, guys. When Captain Underpants books came out, they were actually banned in America because, parents find it ridiculous and stupid. But one of the parents decided to read one of the books, and they find it, you know what, let's just let Captain Underpants be what it is in America. And that's a true fact. And that's how basically what this movie is. It's like this movie that tries to be like the original story from the first book. And it kind of works here. Also, let's talk about the animation. Now, when I first look at the animation image, I have a scary feeling that they might have a copy they might copy the animation style from the Peanuts movie where Blue Sky made the film. But it turns out, no. Yeah, the animation is almost similar to the Peanuts movie, but at least in this film, it actually does kind of work here. I kind of like seeing what the characters from the books look like in 3D style. It kind of actually works, and it does still have this. And the best part about this movie that it is have the same wacky and cartoony style like it was in the books. It's wacky and silly, like I said in the original book. And aside from the jokes, I do like sort of the characters. Of course, I do like Captain Underpants, or AKA Krupp himself, because he's the most funniest thing. And as for George and Harold, I have to say, in my opinion, they're Deadpool 2.0. Like, they break the fourth wall the whole entire movie. I mean, literally. You thought this movie might be solid, but nope. These two kids are just break the fourth wall while telling how their stories, how the adventure and their troubleness begins with the whole thing. And that's basically all that's all the positives in this movie. Let's get to the bad stuff. Firstly, I just do not like the story. I mean, yes, the story is similar, way too similar to the first book, but in execution, I really do wish they could do something new and different. Like, I feel like this is the first movie I saw that has based on a book that actually have all the things to do with the book, and nothing didn't change from the books. I mean, like, I saw some other films based on books that has the differences to the original books, but this one's kind of really this different. Like, they literally just have it all the same throughout the entire thing. From Poopy Pants to become the villain, the way how Captain Underpants gets his powers, and how George and Harold knows that Pranks have gone way too far when they hypnotize Krug. That's how it basically is. Oh, I also forgot to mention this pointless subplot, well, about the school's lunch lady has a crush on Principal Krug. It's there, as was in the book, but it's just kind of pointless. But aside from that, there are also some really bad stuff that I don't like in this movie. Sometimes the movie can be really too wacky. It's too all over the place. Like, I find the story to be all over the place and barely anything happens. And that's my two main problems with the movie. My first main problem is that Captain Underpants himself is basically not well focused, mainly focused in this film. It mainly focused on George and Harold. And my second problem with this movie is that the plot, this movie is way too rushed. It's like one of those films that is way too rushed and is too quick to know what's happening. I mean, Winnie the Pooh, the movie, has that. What I mean by that is the 2011 film. But at least the 2011 Winnie the Pooh movie actually does have a story, and they slow down a bit. Even though the movie is kind of like, I don't know, an hour or 45 minutes. But here, they rush. They just rush. It's like they really make this movie. It's like they want to make this movie good, but they didn't know they might do it too quickly, make it good. It's just like how it was when Toy Story 2 is about to release. They have I don't know, 5 months to do it, and they all had to hurry. At least Pixar tried to do it slowly, even though they're on no deadline to have. Goes on their deadline. But here, the whole movie is completely rushed. Like, they start beginning with about the introduction of George and Harold. They already started with the part with the whole Captain Underpants. Then they already have the villain. Start rampaging through the school. And that's basically it. That's my main problem with this movie. It's the pacing. And since the story was there, it kind of feels... And since the story was way too rushed, you feel like you're just watching the movie for 30 minutes or so. But with all of that gushing, did that mean... Also, I forgot to mention one thing about the movie. There's one character named Melvin, who is also the villain in this film. He's just basically the tattletale, and also he doesn't get the comedy. That's how his personality was, but I still find him annoying. The most annoying thing about him is that he's a tattletale. But after all that, Captain Underpants is, well, a good movie. I have to give DreamWorks a thumbs up for doing a great job. I give them a great job. I do praise about their animation there. I especially love when they do their 2D styles, and mostly do some other sequence of the animation gags, like to do a puppet segment in this movie. But after all those problems, the animation is still fabulous. The characters are decent enough. The story is really Russian all over the place, and overall, Captain Underpants is a good movie. I do not highly recommend you to watch, but I think you should give DreamWorks a chance. But I think give them a good job for making a good movie based on a book, not just Home or Boss Baby. So I'm giving Boss Baby a 7 out of 10 for earning a Fireflower medal. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios, my paisanos.